Station 8, orientation and review of the multi-purpose device, ascending and descending. What I'm going to show you is the review of these devices, and within the operation, there's always, on a load, there'll always be a primary and secondary line. The red one is the primary, the blue is the secondary. The objective, although, in this drill is so that you as a firefighter be able to rig the model, the process of the MPD on your own. So when we rig this up during your drill, in this particular drill, you're not necessarily going to hook up a primary and secondary. What you're going to do is hook up right from scratch from the anchor to the MPD and then to the load. You will ascend the load, you will descend the load, and we're going to show you how to do that. Okay, and that's part of your drill. But to begin with, I will show you and review the components of the MPD and these pre-rigged bags. If you notice, there's a primary and a secondary, as I mentioned. These are all pre-rigged for you to hook up an MPD and go into operation. You don't even necessarily need any of the other accessories because it's all in here. So when you open this bag up, you'll see a canvas bag. Okay? These are identical, other than one's red and one's blue. Okay? The rest that's in here is rope. Inside this canvas bag, you pull this out, there's your MPD, the multi-purpose device. It's already pre-rigged, okay? So you have here for the load, you have here to the anchor. If you ever forget which one's which, I did have these marked at one time, which one was anchor, which was load, but of course after over a while they do rub off. But if you can't distinguish it, look on the back of the device. On the back of the device, it will show you the load side, so you'll know. Okay? And it shows you basically a little depiction of how it should be hooked up. Okay? Now, the components of the MPD itself. So we have an anchor point, we have a load. Right here we have a T-handle. The T-handle does not control the speed of descent. It's strictly an on and off. Okay? There also is a parking brake. The only time you put the parking brake on when it's required is when you actually leave the device. If you stop for a moment and you've got to grab something or whatever it may be and you're not really leaving the device, you don't need to lock it. Okay? When you leave the device, then you need to park it because it's unattended. Okay? When you start off as a descent, and this is set up as a descent right now, okay? Here's the load, and here's the device. If at all possible, try to have yourself on the position in the rear of the device. This is the optimum operating area. Because what I'll do is that I'll have one arm, and I'm actually going to move my bag of rope to this side. I'm going to operate the velocity and control of descent is actually this hand. This one here, all it does is release. It allows you to move. Okay? So what I do is grab this rope in a position and always be more than, don't go past 90 degrees. And I mean 90 degrees is from this working area. Back here, it's going to cause more friction. You're going to hold them really easily. If you want to go quicker, let the rope go further, faster in deployment, move the angle like so. Increase the angle. By increasing the angle, increases velocity of movement of the rope. This does not do that. So, okay, this is just an open and closed. So what I do is that when I have this in position, loads on, I have my crank on, this is taut, I open, pull up, and turn. Okay? Once I pull up and turn, she's going to be starting to move. As I want to increase speed, I move it, change the angle to enlarge it. Don't ever go past 90 degrees, like this, okay? Because you won't have control. 90 degrees is here. Don't go past 90 degrees. You can decrease the amount of degrees to slow the load and control the load if it's a heavy load, or no more than 90, okay? If something happens and you're starting to go fast and you can't stop it, and then you pull it back and it's going out of control, just let go of your hand. It automatically locks, okay? So that is the descent procedure. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, I wanted to mention it again, that whenever you put a load on, there's always a primary and secondary line. Okay, so when you operate a primary and secondary line, they both run in unison, both at the same speed. And that's why it's good to know, or good beside each other, to know that, okay, I'm going this speed. That's why you see these little hatch marks, these different colored marks on white. You can actually see the visibility of the movement of the rope. That's why they're there. So by watching his and watching mine, we both look at each other and making sure that we're going at the same speed and in unison. Okay? Now, that was descending. That's going down, letting the load go down. I guess I should also mention this here also. Right here, there is a hole here, and that's used for a secondary anchor. Okay? That's what that is for. Okay, so now we're going to anchor. So we pulled out an MPD. This is what we had when we first pulled it out. There it is. Now we need to anchor. This is a big post here, let's say. We need something, we need a sling. And guess what? You have an Omni sling. So you connect your sling here as your anchor. And just a quick review on your anchoring your sling. Okay. When you feed this through, in whatever hole, this Omni sling, there's different holes in here and slots. When you feed it through, I usually pick the one with the label on it because I use that as a guide. Okay, let's say I pick this one here. Open it up, like so. Feed it through. Okay. So this is attached to the pole. Make sure when you attach your carabiner that it goes through both lengths of the strap. It goes through this strap and this strap. There is two holes there, of course, as I weaved it in. Just make sure that when you have your carabiner that it goes through both of them. I know you can't see this on the video very well. I'll see if I can. See, if I went through just one, and you think, oh, that's enough? Well, of course, if you pull on this, it'll let right go. So you got to make sure when you load up that it goes through both strands of the Omni sling, as you can see there. Okay, so now this is anchored. It is anchored to both, this one and this one. Make sure you go through both of them when you do that. Okay. Now, so let's say this is anchored. Okay. We'll just peel it out a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Okay. So now we have anchored. We have a descent system, as I mentioned before. Now let's say we have to haul, or perhaps you had to haul in the first place. Everything is in this bag that you need. Okay. We will go through the system of anchoring and actually doing it, and we'll zoom in on when I'm actually putting it together. This is just giving you a quick orientation. Okay, so now this black bag, all the components in here is to convert this thing into a haul system, the MPD into a haul system, and everything in this bag can convert it into a 5-to-1 haul. Okay, that means if it's 1-to-1, that means one Joe is pulling the load. 5-to-1 means there's 5 Joes pulling on basis on this pulley system, on mechanical advantage. Okay, so what you have is this. It's all pre-rigged to some degree. When I pull it out, you will have carabiner. There is a reason why this is put away like this. So the operator, the rigger sees it. This is the way it goes on. You also have the other component is a double pulley system, okay, with a Prusik. Okay, now how this works is basically, and I'll show you this, but this is all the devices you need. The Prusik will attach onto the load line, and it connects just exactly how you see it here in my hand. This connects onto the anchor point, which I mentioned over here on the MPD. Goes like this, and that is how that connects on. So this is goes to the load. Again, I know you can't see very well from this view, but this is strictly an orientation. I'll actually show you when we hook it up. But this is basically how it works. There it is, right there, like that. Okay. So this rope here that's used as the line that you were holding to descend, you thread it through the pulley, back to this pulley, back to this pulley. You got 5-to-1 haul. That's how easy it can be done. Okay. So we'll be doing this rigging on the next segment of this film. We'll do the rigging and we'll go step by step and show you how to rig this thing. One thing I want to make sure and mention to you, when you guys put this away, be meticulous how you put it away, because that's how it's going to be deployed. I can't stress enough to be meticulous, because if you don't, when this is deployed by a firefighter, the components may be missing, even to the point, don't just randomly throw all the components in here, because this helps you remember. By having it rigged like this will help you remember how it's supposed to go on. You know, you can look at it and say, well, this obviously has got to be connected to the pole, and this stays where it is. Same thing with this device here. Don't just, when you stick it away, don't have them disassembled and thrown into the bag. Have them connected. It is a reminder. This is the purpose, the reason why it's put that way, is to help you remind you how it goes on. And same with the MPD and the OmniSling and so forth. Don't just separate these carabiners from where it's connected. Keep them connected. It helps you when we deploy it and reminds you how it's rigged. Okay? I'm going to put this away right now, and in the next segment of the film, you'll see us how we pre-rig it. Okay, so what we're going to do right now, we're going to hook up the MPD. I'm going to establish my anchor point, and we've got a bomb-proof anchor right here. I'm going to hook up the OmniSling, and just so you know, as a beginning in the orientation, we had removed just the one bag and a red primary bag, and in that bag there was the canvas bag. Everything you need to do this operation is in that one bag. So to begin with, I'm going to use the OmniSling, which is on right on top of in the canvas bag, the white one, and we're going to apply this. Because this is quite a bit of sling here, I'm going to wrap it twice and then thread it through. Try to keep the strains equal on either side. So I'm just going to adjust it so it's equal. Okay, and also try to keep your OmniSling nice and flat so it's not twisted. Okay, and what I do here, I take the one with the tag and I use that as a thread. I'm going to thread it through. I'm giving myself a little bit of room. So I'm not going to be too tight because I want to take my carabiner and everything else. I'm going to take it a little bit here. I'm opening the hole here. I'm going to run a yellow tag through and use that as a thread, like a needle and a thread. Run it through. Okay, equalize it up. Okay, and now there's my 2 points. I grab my MPD. Okay, again, once again, take a look at it. Here's my anchor. Make sure I run through both threads. So I'm going through one. And I'm going through, and I'm going through the second one. Okay, so I'm gone through both of them. This one I've gone through, this one I've gone through. Lock it up. Okay, so that's the MBD connection. That's how easy it is. There it is. Okay, I got my anchor, and it's anchored onto there. And I've closed the gate, locked the gate. Okay, now I'm just going to reposition the camera so you can see. I'm going to string this out to my load. I'm going to grab my load button. As you notice, I can still string it out without any complications, making sure my parking brake is off, as long as I don't jerk it. Give it a forceful jerk, it should just thread through. See, as like this here. Okay, so as I feed it through, as long as I don't jerk it, because it automatically locks. That's what it's supposed to do. Okay, I'm just going to reposition my camera so you see where I can load up. Okay, so I've got my load and my carabiner that's been already pre-rigged. I'm going to move over here for my anchor. As you can see, I can pull my rope fine. As long as I don't jerk it, it's not going to capture. See, even that little bit there, it's captured. That's going nice and easy. Locking my gate. Okay, so all I did was took my load line and ran it to my load, connected with the carabiner, and it's closed and locked the gate. Now I'm going to reposition the camera so you can see me configure the 5-to-1 haul system. Okay, so here we are. Everything is, like I said before, it's in this bag. So I'm going to hook up my haul system, make it to a 5-to-1 haul. I pull out my little black bag, which has everything on it, in it that I need. Here's my single pulley. And here's my double pulley. The first thing I want to do is connect the Prusik onto the haul line, a minimum of 3 wraps. So let's do that. We know this assembly's together, so I'll keep that separate. These are all the devices I need here. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. And then I dress it. Okay, it takes a little time to dress it, make it nice, and there's not overlapping. Okay, so there's my Prusik, 3 wraps. Okay, on this part where the knot may be, I'm just going to shift it out so the carabiner is not running on the knot. And I do is just rotate. One go one way, one go the other way, and you'll see where it pulls. That's the direction. If it goes the wrong way you don't want, just switch it up and turn it the other way. Okay. So now my knot is further away where the carabiner is going to touch. That's good. Okay, so my carabiner comes onto here. And onto here. Lock my carabiner. Lock my gate. This here, there's a push button here, and I can move my enter into my rope into here. That's how that works. There's a button right here, and it automatically locks. So you just push that down, like so, and it locks. And that works on both sides. And we will be using both of them to make it to 5-to-1. Okay, we're going to set that here for now. Okay, now I'm going to take this one, that's already been pre-assembled, goes on to this anchor point, right here on this becket. Like so. Okay, I'm not going to hook this on because I'm going to have to take it off to assemble my rope through. So I'm just going to set it down for now. So this first rope comes down into the first on one side. Open up my sleeve, come into the rope, okay, and then lock it up. Okay, that's one. Now it's got to come up to somewhere, right? So follow the rope up, it's got to come into here. This is where it comes into. This one now. Okay, and this one gets locked in. That's why I didn't put it on right away. I knew I had to. Now I can lock it. Okay, and then this one, continue on, comes back down to the second side of the pulley. Unlock it. Make sure. Through this, that's not tangling up, twisting it. So make sure that everything's kind of lined up nicely. So I'm going to come in through here. There we are. What I did there was that this swivels. So anytime you find the ropes are twisting, you don't want that. You want it nice, if you can, a nice linear organization. Okay. So what I did was before I snapped it in, I swiveled it into position, attached my rope so that it would be more smooth. Okay, so there's my 5-to-1 haul. Let's go up here for now so you can see it. There's my 5-to-1 haul. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to reposition the Prusik, but as you can see, this slides. So I'm going to pull it down further so I get a longer haul movement through this. So what I'm doing, I'm going to just grab this, I'm going to pull it down the line. Okay, I'm just going to reposition the camera so you can see what I did. As you can see, I just basically traveled down the haul line with the Prusik, which I originally was over here. I pulled it over here to give myself a little bit of a throw, an area of movement. And now I'm going to taunt the line. I'm going to back up the camera so you can see as I do the haul. And what we're lifting up is basically this, so you know what your load is. Just travel down here, follow the line. Okay, so basically what we did here is I connected a redirect onto the hose line here, we use for hauling hose, and that's connected all the way up to the top onto a pulley system, and then all the way back down to the load, which is just basically this. Okay, so before we do our haul, we want to check our line. So our safety checks includes going right from the entire system. We check it. Okay, so I'll come down here and check, make sure that gate's locked. Okay, which it is. Follow down the line. Safety check here. Make sure gate's on. Okay, make sure this is all closed up. Following the line. All the way up to here. Checking this gate on this. Locked. Checking this. Anchor point's locked. It's gone through both things, both OmniLink connections, and I think we're good to go. Okay, so I'll put the reposition the camera so you can see it as we haul. Okay, so we're going to show you how this is all going to be rigged now, how we're going to pull on this line. Okay, so as we're going through this, you see the line go through. I'm going to show you how to reset. Okay, so let's say we've gone through our pull. Okay, so we're pulling. As you can see, we're moving forward, hauling, hauling. Okay. And we're hauling, and you notice all of a sudden here we are, we're locked up. Okay, we can't go any further. Okay, so we're going to reset. We want to pull some more. We're not quite at the very top. So you notice that I can let go and she's going to automatically lock on. Take the Prusik here. Okay, because there was loaded, you might have to just break the bridge of the Prusik, which is this here. We call that a bridge. Just break the bridge a little bit, loosens it up, and you can walk down again to reset. You can go down as far as you want to create one movement, so you don't have to go back and reset, stop and reset. But that's basically it. I'll put it there, just for illustration, and then I can continue hauling. Okay? So there it is. So that is your haul system. Just to recap again, setting up your pulley system, putting on the Prusik, your carabiner, your double pulley system, your single pulley system, thread your haul line through it. The load line is connected on, do your safety check, and you start proceeding with the pull, with the haul. Resetting is basically, as you showed you just earlier, once you bottom out here and you can't pull anymore, break the bridge of your Prusik, slide it down, reposition, and continue hauling. Okay? So now what we're going to show you is basically we're going to go the load that we got, the big pool. It's probably suspended in the air someplace, I'm not exactly sure, but it's probably up there somewhere. We're going to bring that back down to the ground. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. Okay, so right now what we're going to do, we're going to dismantle, make it into a descent device. That means that we're going to lower the load. We hauled it up initially, now we're going to bring it down. Okay, so first of all is to dismantle your haul system. So I'm going to start off moving the Prusik. And as you can see, I'm going to keep all the components together. As I put this away, I'm snapping it together because when we pulled it out, it was exactly like that. So we know this assembly, pre-rigged assembly, goes to the haul line, or the load line. My bag, come over here, remove my single pulley. Remove the rope. And once again, I don't put these components individually, I put them together. So they know when you pull it out, they go there together. Put this back in the bag. Okay, just like so. I put the bag aside because I don't need it anymore, or I may not need it anymore. Just put it aside. Okay. Now, one thing I want to mention here, well, there's a bunch of you working together. You're going to do this on your own because it's just yourself rigging. Keep yourself tidy. Keep your work area tidy. Know where your deployment rope is and the rest of your rope. Okay. Don't have rope all spread all over the place. Keep the housekeeping clean. Okay. It's not just because I prefer it, it's because it's a safety issue. You don't want all of a sudden you're stepping on a rope and all of a sudden it takes you with it. Okay, you want everything clean, tidy. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm going to reposition the camera so you can see what I'm going to do in terms of resetting into a descent. Okay, come around here. And so you can actually see what I'm doing. Back up just a tad here. Okay, you should be able to hopefully see me in this picture. Okay, so here we took off the line. Here's the line of control. As earlier indicated, I mentioned to you that the T-handle does not provide the speed of descent. It only acts as an open and close. Right now, it's locked. The load is locked, okay? If you had to leave the device, there's a parking brake here. You can turn the switch over to park, and then you can leave. In addition to that, what I generally do is run my rope. If you had to leave the device, put it in parking brake, make a bite, come around through the carabiner, okay, like that, and just tie off an overhand safety knot over top of the haul line. Okay, just like that. Okay, parking brake, and it's locked as an overhand safety knot. Okay. Okay, I'm going to loosen it off. Okay, and then I'm going to loosen my parking brake because we're going to show you how to descend. Okay, remember that 90 degrees things I was talking to you about? There's my 90 degrees. From here to here. Boom, boom. Okay? Initialize, don't ever go past the 90 degrees. Okay? Because you'll find that it may go freewheeling on you if the load is heavy. In this case, I have a feeling that the load's not very heavy, but always start at 90 degrees. 90 degrees or less. Okay? No more than 90, don't go past 90 degrees. Okay? So I'm going to start a little bit less because I'm going to hold it. This is what controls the load. It's going to slide through your hand. So make sure, I've always mentioned to you guys, take care of your rope gloves. Don't use your rope gloves for anything else. Because in this case, if you used it for VX, for example, and you got crystals of glass, well, guess what you're doing when you're letting it slide through? You're cutting the rope. Okay, so keep your rope gloves specifically for ropes. Okay, so here we go. I grab this 90 degrees. I'm grab up on, lift this up and give it a turn. And I start to let it slide through my hands. Just like that. Okay, it's easy enough to stop it. I mean, this is hardly a load. I can barely feel it, but it is pulling. See, as I go at 90 degrees, it goes faster. Okay, for some reason, if it goes really fast and I'm losing control, let go. As you let go, it automatically locks. So once again, I'm good to go. Pull up, give it a turn, and continue. My left hand, the one that's on the rope, is the control. Okay, I'm letting it go. Not quite there yet. Should be getting close now. Yeah, I felt it. I'm on ground. Let go, and that's it. A couple things too I want to mention. When you are running both lines, which I mentioned to you earlier, when you run both lines, the ideal positioning is behind the device like I'm situated now. Okay? So you can control that angle. So if there was a wall here and you can position yourself behind the MPD to properly operate it, what you can do is this. So let's say this is a wall right here and I can't get behind there. You can take a carabiner, connect it into this carabiner, put your rope through it, lock your gate, and then you can see that I'm running it from here. Okay, so I can pull this up again and turn it. I'm working from this side, and I just let my rope go through this way. I'm putting more friction on, but I've just redirected the rope is all I did by putting the carabiner through. Okay? Okay, I'll move my hand so you can see the configuration. So all I did was reposition, put a carabiner onto here, redirect my rope as if I was holding it here, but past, less than 90 degrees, of course. So, and then I'm starting just redirecting it and let it run through. Okay? And the other thing I want to mention, so that is for redirecting the rope, but when you're running in unison, remember you're watching the hatch marks go down and you're both going taking the load. It's not like the secondary is following the primary. It's not following. It's both of them are having equal, if possible, equal amount of the load and going in unison and bringing down the load. Okay? So that is it. That's your setup. That's the completion of Station 8.